Head of Marvel Television. Welcome to the best party you're going to attend while you're here. Talk to these people.
Everybody, welcome to that.
Who's that? It just happened. Folks, every year we have a chance to come down here, and it's our way of really saying thank you to everyone that's here. The reason why Marvel Television has had the success that it's had as S.H.I.E.L.D. enters season 3. And Carter goes to season 2. It's funny because I know that there are an awful lot of people who couldn't make it here today, and I'd like them to know, are there any Agent Carter fans here in the audience? I'm sorry, we really need to let people know. That was kind of like a whispery kind of thing. I know San Diego's greater than that. Are there any Agent Carter fans? I'm going to run on a limb because, Agent Carter's the younger of the two shows. Are there any S.H.I.E.L.D. fans? Some guests that are backstage. I want to get to them, but just so that they know, if you're a Carter fan and a S.H.I.E.L.D. fan, could you say hello to everybody? Let's try it as a cheer, I think. Let's do that instead. If you're a Carter and a S.H.I.E.L.D. fan, roar now! Thank you so much. As you know, these things don't happen without incredible partnerships. Our partners at Marvel Television are the wonderful people at ABC Network and also at ABC Studios. I would be completely not here if it weren't for people like Paul Lee and Jenny Dungy and Patrick Moran and my head of production, Jim Corey, and a big shout out to Momo and Dan Aykroyd, Dan Buckley and Alan Fine and the king of Comic-Con, and somewhere in the audience is Joe Quesada. And rather than having me just talk about Agent Carter, why don't we take a quick look at kind of the fun that we had in season 1. I'm very excited to announce that for those of you that like the music from Agent Carter and from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., they will be being released, both series, this fall. And now I'm even more excited to tell you that these shows are made with so much love and so much care and some of the best writing that we've ever seen in television, and I'm very, very proud of our showrunners, and I'm going to bring them out now, and they are Chris Dingess, Tara Butters, and Michele Fazekas. You guys, of course, are not strangers to Comic-Con.
No. We were, the first time we were here as panels was on the pilot of Reaper. Reaper
fans out there?
I was conceived on the convention floor in 1973.
I'm ashamed to say I was there. Not the conceiving part.
You like to watch?
You had to go there, didn't you? The real challenge of season 1 was finding an actor that could personify someone who existed in comics for a very long time, and who also at the same time existed as a voice and is now played by a different actor. And what I can just tell you is that when we first sat down and decided that the person who was going to be following Agent Carter on her adventures was going to be Jarvis. We looked high, we looked low, and we all agreed that there was the right person for it if we could just get him, and that person is James Stars. This is his first Comic-Con. He said that it was, we walked over, and of course they took us through the back way and the tunnels and stuff, and he turned to me and he said, this doesn't seem very crowded.
Yeah. I may have been
I'm very proud to say that you can't do Agent Carter without Agent Carter. It is our extraordinary pleasure every day to get to work with Hayley. There are 2 other people who are very important to the show who could not make it. They're off making a little movie called Captain America Civil War. And that would be Kevin Feige and Loeb. This is the one show that Marvel Television makes with Marvel Studios. Lewis has been one of the champions of this. He directed the short, he directed the pilot, and I can honestly tell you that I don't know that any of us would be here without Lewis championing it all the way. So a big thank you to Lewis, and a big shout out to everybody out in Latin America. So guys, welcome to Comic-Con. This is a little different than the last time we did this when no one really knew who we were. And I guess I'll just start out with talking to Michele and Chris. What's it like having a little 8 episodes that suddenly the world is talking about?
I remember walking through, I think the Marriott last year with you, and telling Hayley, you're never going to be able to do this again, just so you know. And it is kind of amazing to kind of walk around with her, and everybody kind of gets all excited, and it's so cool to see all the cosplay I've seen of her.
And I have to say the fan art.
Our buys everything on it.
If there's fan art, you could put it up for sale, I would probably buy it. But I just love that expression of the fans and how they love the show.
And I'm really happy because we love it so much, and I really wanted people to like it, and I'm glad.
It's the best job we've ever had.
Oh,
Yeah, it's amazing.
Me too.
So when we started out, the hunt for Jarvis, James, you had some questions. I think I was going to go with misgivings, but you certainly had to sort of know, as an actor, how to play this part. Can you talk a little bit about, when you first started out, when you first got a call from us, and we all said, "Come play." Please come play.
I was slightly worried because in the pilot, Jarvis is making a souffle, and I can't actually make a souffle. I was worried that I would be required to actually do. Any of you who've made a souffle, well, it's a complex process. You've got to time it just right. So my apprehension mainly revolved around souffle making. And, I can do a perfect spotted dick. That's an English pudding. But I'm not so good at the souffles. So we had a long conversation about that, and then they explained to me what acting is.
What was great though is that no one's ever played an English butler before, so this was a new thing for you.
I'm treading very new territory here. And actually, the thing that really sold it to me was when Michele and Tara, Chris and Jeph said to me, "Oh no, but he's going to be with her on the missions." And I said, "Oh great, so there's going to be some fighting," and they went, "Yeah, Hayley's going to be doing a lot of fighting." And I said, "And Jarvis will be behind it doing some fighting," and they went,
That's how Chris actually talks.
and having read the script, it was so funny what they had already written for Jarvis, and I've never actually had an opportunity to do anything comedic on film before, and I wasn't at all sure that I could do it, but it turns out...
You guys think that I do it?
It turns out I just had to be my usual Wally of a self, and it would work out just fine.
You actually brought up something that I should also mention, was that you read the first script, and that script was written by two of our other executive producers that we're also very lucky to have, and that's Chris Marcus and Steve McFeely. They also could not be here because having written Captain America: The First Avenger and having written Captain America: The Winter Soldier, they have just finished writing and are on the set at Captain America: Civil War. Speaking of very proud of, Hayley Atwell. Aside from being the only person I'd let take my hat, tell us about Peggy. Like, you've now played Peggy. You've played Peggy in 2 features, a short, and 8 episodes, soon now to be 10 more episodes. What is it about that character that takes you off the big screen and into our homes?
I think, first of all, the quality of the writing, and it was very clear in the script that, we'd seen aspects of Peggy in the first Avenger, but in this show in particular, there were so many nuances of character, and she was dynamic and resourceful and fun and sexy and vulnerable, and all these qualities that I really enjoy playing, and so I jumped at the chance to do it for the very reason that also I've known the Marvel team for 5 years and love them dearly, and she's just kind of taken over my life in such an amazing way. She's quite fearless, and I often find when I'm having moments of kind of doubting what I'm doing, I think that she wouldn't, she just goes for it, so she can thrust herself into situations with such kind of wild abandonment that I love that opportunity. So it's changed my life. Yeah.
True story. We had the script and we had Hayley's interest, but it's always a challenge when you have someone and you want to make sure that they're coming on board. And she came into the Marvel offices and went through our little quiet security, because as you know, there is no Marvel security. Actually, I'm hoping that no one here is actually recording anything, because you're not going to leave here alive. And we get to keep your phone, and it's bad. So don't do that. Anyway, and so you went in, I remember you went into a little locked room with a script which she then had to give back. As soon as she was done reading, and you had sort of the most amazing reaction, because you went in with like all these questions that you were prepared to like grill us.
Yeah,
You go,
I was.
"Well, do you think you could change? Is it?" And then what happened? Yeah, that's how we talk.
I just loved her, and I really hoped that, you know, the writers would get it right. I was really adamant about that. And I just read the script the first time, it just came out, and I think I just went, oh, she's amazing! And I had nothing to say but compliments. It was, I just think, you know, we were also working with a group of such talented and skillful writers. It's all on the page, and it feels like you just have to turn up and say the lines, and all the work's kind of done for you. So I've been very lazy, actually.
And can I add to that, actually, that you know, a show that is set in the 40s, so requires some period dialogue, but also with two of the main characters being English, that's an extraordinary skill that quite a lot of British writers wouldn't be able to pull off, to write period English dialogue. And you guys, our writers have just so beautifully come up with words that I would never dare to use. You know, and they found these fantastic period dialogue for us, and
Hello!
like that.
I am told that we can open the floor to some Q&A. Is there a thing and a thing? No.
Thank you.
So I guess I start with the guy in the Captain America shirt. Look at that, you have that on the television and everything. That's awesome.
My name's DJ. My question's for Hayley Atwell. Do you feel that your character's decision to pour Captain America's blood at the end of the season was right, even though Steve was the only one to survive or volunteer for Operation Rebirth?
Yeah, I do think it was an absolutely right decision because she'd been holding on to him the whole season, not really being able to move on. She was grieving him, and I think by the end of the season she'd grown, and it was her way of getting closure and letting him go, and it was a burial for her in a way. I think also she was just concerned that if it had gone into the wrong hands, then someone would abuse that power, and I think keeping him alive through the work that she was doing and the memory of him served him better. But I think it also makes it more bittersweet and just makes it for a better story.
And we shot that on the Brooklyn Bridge in New York, didn't we?
Oh yeah.
If you guys want to talk at all, that's actually one of our big partners in the show is ILM. And you guys have heard of ILM? So do you want to talk a little bit about how helpful that is and how we built all of this?
This is one of the benefits of working with Marvel is that people want to go into business with Marvel. And so ILM has obviously done a bunch of work for the Marvel feature side, had never done it. And I think we're a little hesitant about doing it for a lot less money and a lot less time, but they were such fans of the material. I've actually worked on a lot of different shows that use visual effects. And it's some of the best work I've ever seen. You actually went up and visited them.
Yes, it was amazing to get a tour of ILM and see movies and stuff that you've seen growing up and see the assets there. But the amazing thing for us was when you're having to build a city, they have 30 years worth of assets they were able to call on in their library and rejigger for us to help make New York City come to life, which was a big part of our show.
We have another question.
Hi, this question is for I wanted to know what your favorite line from the show was that you feel like summed up the themes of the show, because I know my value line was pretty awesome.
Everyone knows the line that defined Peggy, and it's something that has kind of touched a lot of people that I've met at conventions over the world in the last few months, but I know my value. Anyone else's opinion doesn't really matter. And that's, I think, for me, something that she discovers over time, and that she doesn't need praise from anyone, because she has determination and purpose, and she's kind of living out her destiny, and with the support of the right people around her. And it's been amazing going to these conventions and meeting, especially young people, young boys and girls coming up to me and going, I know my value too! It just melts my heart. It's so humbling. And I think that's kind of that's what gives Peggy in the first season real depth. She's a very independent spirit. But then at the same time, there's that wonderful scene that I love where John